Welcome. Welcome into the space. I am Kapualani, and this is your timeless reading, timeless guidance. All right, it's a collective reading as always. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Now, as I am recording this and when this reading airs, it is going to be the Sagittarius full moon timing. All right, so if you have any intentions that you're wanting to hold space for or set, for that full moon, and with that full moon in mind, even though I'll be airing this the day after, we're still going to be working with the full moon energy. So just take that into consideration and just know if you're watching this the day after the full moon, you still have time. I was always told, like, my gauge has always been, days before, days after, generally like 3 days plus or minus. All right, so let's go ahead and dial in here, connect to the breath, tune in. All right, and so it is. So, as we go into the cards, Spirit, let's get a core message for our reading today. And if this is your first time joining us, there will be a part two to this reading, to these messages. We'll be diving in deeper, that kind of thing. First up, Temperance. Okay, Sagittarius energy as it is for this Sagittarius full moon. All right, so here's what this get a little bit tongue twisted here. There's balance and integration that's taking place, perhaps a bit of alchemy. This is going to be a time to really stay focused and on top of things. You may also be asserting more of your independence. Archangel Michael representing the temperance energy. And so call on Archangel Michael, especially if you're feeling challenged, frustrated, if there are some heavier duty or things that you're having to move through and deal with. Okay, don't take your eye off the ball right now. Keep your eye on the prize, eye on the ball. Okay, as you're moving and shaking, getting things done. This is something of an impasse and a transition. The threshold that we're present to here, is it day going into night? Is it night going into day? So we're wanting to stay on top of things and, again, pay attention and put the quality into whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, this is about really, how should I put this? When I see the temperance card, at times I'm brought to, like, I'm thinking of my wild unknown deck, because the heron is represents, temperance, or shows up on the temperance card, and the heron is all about integrity. And so it's not just integrity in terms of, doing the right thing, but it's really about aligning and paying attention again to the quality, the level of focus that you're putting into something. You're not just going into autopilot, right? This is in a situation where whatever it is that you're looking at can be put onto autopilot. We wish that it were. We surrender it to the higher power. We call in Archangel Michael for that divine intervention, and we know that we need to keep our hands on the wheel. Like, we surrender the journey to the higher power, but we're keeping our eyes on the road ahead. Okay, and so there could be a lot that is in flux right now, things that are, the tides that are turning and so forth. So what is this message from Temperance? Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, the journey continues. Okay, things are going to be progressing steadily here. You're making gains and you're feeling it. And this is a time for sacred repair, is what I'm hearing right now. And so tying up the loose ends, addressing any holes, tears, or leaks in the system, in the circuitry that we need to tend to. It's kind of like if you've been driving for a long time, right? Your car, at some point, it's like we want to take it in for a tune up, right? Something like that. Like, now that we have this weekend where we're free, or this time during the week, like, it's gonna have to get done. We're gonna have to make the time one way or another. You make the time, or the time makes itself. Like, you know what I mean? The time makes you do it. something I hope that that makes sense when I'm getting at. So it's like Stitch in time saves nine is what I think of at times with the Eight of Pentacles. But again, this is time to refine. This is time to pay attention to the qualities, not to worry so much about the gains that are going to be coming in next. The gains are underway, it's already set up, but right now it's about focusing on the quality of your work and the care and making any adjustments that need to be made, letting it's like the wind in your sails, right? The wind is blowing in a certain direction, you want it to be in your favor, and so take that time to make those fine attunements so that things can really continue to flow in that productive sort of way here. Okay, so let's continue on with the messages and the guidance here. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so a couple of cards. So Justice, the Two of Swords, Justice. Justice is blind. Um, there are certain things that you may be wanting to ignore, or someone around you may be wanting to ignore, but it's going to be dealt with one way or another. Um, take this time, like whatever information that you're needing, if you do feel as though you are sort of stuck or at an impasse at the moment. Yeah, take the time to balance things out. Okay, there could be significant contracts, agreements, legal matters taking place at this time. Libra energy, okay, that we're looking at, if that's in your sign or if that's a sign of someone around you. Excuse me. Um, I get an energy of protection. I get an energy of divine balance taking place. I don't know why I just heard the tables are turning. Okay, yeah, there's sacred adjustments that are taking place. There are certain things that maybe you would rather ignore, certain significant choices or decisions that you really would rather give up to the universe. Um, but this is again where, even though there may be certain aspects or steps along the way that literally you have no control over, like once you set that ship off into sail, like that's it. You know what I mean? One of those kind of things, but it doesn't mean that you should just kind of walk away and forget about it, because something about whatever it is that's in motion, it's going to have a really big impact on your future. And as I said, that the Four of Wands, so celebrations where connections are being made. The Four of Wands does line up with new realities in a way that are taking place, that are starting to take shape and take form, especially when it comes to partnerships. Okay, or moving into a new home, a new living situation, or if something about your living situation is shifting in any which way, it's going to work out. Again, celebration coming through with the Four of Wands energy for celebrating life, and focusing on it in that regard. So I almost get like, if you're doing like a Hail Mary, I don't know if you've, do a little Hail Mary, oh my gosh, where it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna, um, like, what is it? Close my eyes and pretend that it's all gonna be okay. Like, we're gonna get through this. But don't look, I can't look. You know what I mean? It's like in somewhere form, you are being divinely guided and protected. I mean, I could say this, we're being divinely guided and protected pretty much at all times, right? But this is, I don't know why, but they're saying that they're in it with you all the way. Your guides, your ancestors, obviously, not that they have much choice. um, but they're with you all the way. They're with you all the way. So let's bring this home, Spirit. Like, what is this? Where is this all? What is this all leading up to here in terms of what is being illuminated with this Sagittarius full moon? So what strength are you being shown? What are you being shown right now with this full moon? Maybe what can you release? Okay, what's coming into our awareness? What do we need to know as we transition through these energies? What do we need to know as we transition through these energies, Spirit? Thank you. So we've got the Seven of Swords, the Two of Wands. There may be certain details that you're overlooking unintentionally, or not, you're not quite noticing. There's a bigger network of energy that I'm getting. It's like streaming through. So you could be feeling quite overwhelmed and just kind of like, ooh, I don't know. wanting to keep to yourself as well, as much as you are wanting to get through certain thresholds, as much as you are wanting to get to the other side of something. It's there are certain details that you may be overlooking or not seeing fully. Okay, so take that time to just honor what your steps are here and now, and making short-term plans on the way to the bigger picture. There are some, there are some manifestations that seem so out of the ordinary that it's like, well, I don't know, like I don't know, unless a miracle happens, I'm just gonna have to keep chipping away at things. But the sense that I'm getting here, um, you may be closer to making your goals happen than you realize. As we know, it is in the day to day, the little things add up over a period of time, right? There are certain things about your life, living your day to day, that you may be feeling like you'd rather just kind of keep on the down low, keep to yourself. It's not that anything shady or sneaky is happening, but it's almost like not, how should I put this? I don't mean to go kind of like zigzag in the message here, but I'm also getting spirit saying something about really seeing um, the benefit, seeing the benefit of, you're not okay, thank you. You may not fully be seeing your developments. You may have come a long way and developed quite a bit more than you realize, okay? And there are certain things, because like a lot of times, right, where whenever we were traumatized at whatever age it was, usually that's where we kind of sometimes energetically, not completely, but just the energy of that trauma, right? We go back to it, and no matter what, and even if it's like a past life thing. And so that's, sorry, that's a, there's something in the mix here where your shorter term vision is what's necessary to get to the longer term goal. Um, it's not that you're giving up on the long term goal, and it's not that you're just kind of like forgetting about it. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But if you really give yourself that space to allow, there's a transition that's underway, and I don't know if you can sense that, if you feel that, if you're present to that, but it's not comfortable. It's been very awkward and weird in a way. And so I guess what I'm saying is, when you start off with a goal and you're working toward it and working toward it and you're trying to look for those results, and then you said, I just forget it, but you just keep doing it, you keep showing up, you keep chipping away, you keep doing the work. And then, maybe people are like, wow, hey, it looks like you're making a lot of progress. You're like, yeah, I guess so, blah blah blah. um but when you step back and you really see all of what's transpired, um even if it's in the smallest kind of a way, it's a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, whoa, oh, wow, yeah, you're right. I totally look different, or, I can see the transformation that's happening. And so that, ultimately, that's kind of like part of it, is this transformation that's happening into a new paradigm, into a new way of living, of moving, of shaking, of your perception of things. Because there's been a lot of deep healing and work that you've been doing. That's where this is all coming from, based on the deep work, the deep healing, and the commitment that you've had to not give up, to keep pushing forward. We let things go. We have positive habits that we, cycle into, and that we build a rhythm around, and then stuff happens and we let go of that. Like, oh, daily meditation, for example, or going and doing yoga, or whatever it is. There's times when we're like fully in the zone and committed, and that's our thing and that's our rhythm. And then something needs to come along and it breaks that rhythm up. You know what I mean? And we let go of certain patterns and healthy routines and da 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 da. But it doesn't mean that they're just gone forever. You pick it back up and you keep going, and you just integrate that as a lifestyle. And then it's like, whoa, okay, yeah, when I look back at my, my life 5 years ago or whatever it was, 2 years ago, it's like, whoa, okay, right? So ultimately, I hope that this is making sense. We got two energies here. So there's, it does have to do with how you see things, choices and decisions generally with two energies. But we got the air with the thoughts again, maybe being in a space of pause, um, mindful pause, or, again, if you're feeling stuck mentally about certain choices, or if you're not, you know what I mean? It's not even that if it's like feeling stuck and it's your fault. There could be certain things that are just like, nope, you just have to wait. You have to wait your time, your appointment date, and da 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 da, and then you can keep moving forward. But the whole point is that once whatever this karmic contract or this timing is, or this whatever it is, this balance that's putting things into righteousness again, it's gonna start like on the other side of it. It's gonna look good. You know what I mean? It's going to look good. There's still going to be some other layers that need to be dealt with, but this is still the earlier phases of it. So that's okay, right? It's okay. So before we go into closing out the part two here, or rather, before we go into the animal spirit card here, I just want to remind us that there will be a part two. I'm going to be diving deeper into these messages if you'd like, and just see how can we integrate these energies. And if this is that short term, right, where things are still in process, like what are just some next steps that we can take? So that's going to be in part two, along with answering any yes no question you may have with the angel oracle, as well as taking a glance into things with the romance angels. All right, but let's see, animal spirit. Who's our animal spirit messenger at this time? Thank you. And you can watch that at kapualani.com/extensions for that part two. Okay, we got a bunch of cards. We've got turtle, cheetah, spider, buffalo. So this is a lot. Spirit saying just one. So I'm going to give you guys a choice, all right, to they're like, just pick one. I'm like, ugh. In part two, I'm gonna read from the actual animal spirit guidebook as I do, and you can pick and choose the animal spirit guide who connects most deeply with you. Now with the turtle, I'm very much drawn to that Mother Earth energy, to Turtle Island for some reason, taking things slow but keeping things moving. And I also get energy that's unassuming, because turtles can actually move pretty quickly. I don't think people give turtles that kind of credit, where they can really get jamming when they start moving. But and there's a sensitivity that's there that people don't always acknowledge when it comes to turtle energy. So yeah, we got turtle, cheetah. Obviously swiftness. Okay, there's fire energy that's there, of earth, fire. Here with cheetah, quick movements. Um, Things in motion. I'm reminded of the magician card from my wild unknown deck, because there's a cheetah on that one. And then I'm thinking of the integration and alchemy energy that's coming up with all of that. Spider, putting things together, weaving your reality. Grandmother spider energy for those who align with that medicine. Integration, there's more integration, definitely integration that's coming through house and home. Also thinking of the spider web, everything comes back to center here. And then the buffalo. Okay, peace, resilience. I don't know why, but I'm drawn to group consciousness with that buffalo energy. So there could be something dealing with group consciousness there. Self-sacrificing, stable, slow, and steady. There's something about things. Okay, excuse me, I'm tuning in, guys. Okay. So there's the thresholds of what we're integrating and moving through at this time. It's, there may be certain challenges in terms of just staying focused and stabilizing in the here and now. as we're getting through this threshold and to the other side of it all. But I get that it's gonna be productive. Okay, it's gonna be productive. This time will move by quickly. You are protected. Um, and then I just get again just about patience and resilience here. So I'm gonna wrap things up and just invite you to my website kapualani.com to schedule your session if that's something that you feel called to. And again, you can find part two, the extension to this, at kapualani.com/extensions. Find that link in the comments or in the description box below. But I appreciate you and I thank you for being here and spending this time with myself. I will see you next time. I'll see you in part two. Take good care.